Hello, my Automotech family. I hope you're all doing fine. Today we'll talk about Tesla manufacturing one of the world's fastest automobiles, but apart from that, they're also the company who are spreading their manufacturing plants across the globe at a rapid pace. How do they make it possible? How does Tesla build factories so fast? Be sure to stick around till the end of this video to find out. Since Elon took hold of Tesla's reins as CEO in 2008, Tesla's rise as one of the world leaders in electric automobile technology has been no short of meteoric. Its Gigafactory located in Storey County, Nevada, also known as Gigafactory 1, which although operational but not yet completed, will hold the record for the largest footprint or area in the world. But with an ambitious goal of assembling 1 million automobiles per year, one Gigafactory won't be enough. That's why Elon has decided to branch out its Gigafactories across the globe. He aims to put one Gigafactory in each continent of the world. And with one Gigafactory in Nevada, one in New York, one in Shanghai, one in Berlin, and another in Texas on the way, that vision might come true sooner than expected. But how does Tesla build factories so fast? Especially considering that each Gigafactory spans thousands of acres and also counting the fact that mere planning and design of structures of such a large scale are two activities that can take as much time as the actual construction process itself. What does it take to build a machine that builds the machine, as Elon once said, at such a rapid rate? The answer lies in an ingenious civil engineering technique known as prefabricated construction, or prefab for short. What's prefab, you may ask? Remember playing with Lego blocks when you were young? Making buildings with colorful blocks, you would place the blocks in place one after the other, making a structure that your younger self would visualize in your head. Prefab is not much different. Components of a factory like walls, floors, and even roofs, called subassemblies, are shaped and manufactured in another factory of their own. After fabrication, these components are transported to the site via road or rail and then put into place by the construction teams, much like a child would place Lego blocks in order. This method was basically introduced in the construction sector for residential projects and is particularly useful in buildings with redundant sections. Hence, why it can be considered ideal for apartments and hostile buildings, since these types of structures have repetitive and mirror designs. This technique is not all fixed and unalterable though. Just like Lego block buildings can be took apart and adjusted as per need, the components of the building are movable and can be maneuvered according to need in case new sections are to be improved and need to be added to the facility, which will be discussed in detail in the latter part of the video. Tesla took this concept, which was already successful and popular in the Californian and Arizona construction sector, and introduced it to the grand stage by implementing prefab civil engineering techniques to erect its gigafactories. The testament to the effectiveness of this method lies in the rapid pace of construction in Giga Shanghai, which was built in just 1 year, from laying the first brick on an attempt patch of land to releasing the first vehicle assembled completely in Giga Shanghai. All of this happened within the space of almost less than 365 days. All of this happened despite one drawback: all materials transportation took place via road and not by rail. But since that drawback is not present in the construction works at Giga Berlin, we might see it surpass Giga Shanghai's record. As tweeted by the boss Elon Musk himself, Giga Berlin will come together at a seemingly impossible pace. As we mentioned previously, the prefabricated construction technique is useful in buildings with high redundancy or repetitive sections. But how are redundant models for factories good for business? One may wonder, especially when every company innovates and invents new design with their each facility. Well, assembling the first Gigafactory gave Tesla a blueprint for their future facilities, and they keep on replicating the design with minor changes here and there. This saves them great time in the planning and designing phase, which is an activity that can take years in itself before the perfect model is finalized. However, this doesn't mean that the design for every Tesla Gigafactory is absolutely rigid and unchangeable. Since the building components are like maneuverable blocks, the design is fairly flexible and can be easily adapted to accommodate space for future expansion. Surprisingly, even a supposed drawback like redundancy or repetitive design works as an advantage for Tesla here, considering that they save valuable time that's otherwise lost in the designing phase alone. The saved time is transferred over to the assembly phase that has allowed Tesla to expand and branch out at such a rapid rate. They don't have to go back to the drawing board again and again to redesign their manufacturing plants. Although this might seem boring to the masses, however, for a multi-billion-dollar company like Tesla, each day saved equals thousands of potential units produced. Another advantage of repetitive designs for Tesla Gigafactories is that each and every minute detail regarding the construction of the Gigaplants has been planned out with surgical precision. The map has been laid out and the construction team knows exactly what to do and when to do it. They just have to follow the blueprint over and over again. This method also helps construction teams in what can be called a parallel processing of the building process, meaning the team won't have to wait until the completion of one portion to begin working on the next. Prefabricated construction also helps in saving staffing costs and quantity, as smaller crews can undertake construction of large sections of a building with considerably less skilled laborers. Prefabricated construction is also an eco-friendly alternative method for construction compared to other traditional methods, considering that it generates less waste and material can be recycled in-house. This saves time, energy, fuel, and expenditure in transporting waste generated on-site to landfills. This is especially vital for Tesla, since it has been facing hindrance in Giga Berlin's construction because of environmentalist groups who have criticized Tesla's methods for being hazardous to nature and surroundings. Prefab also saves considerable cost. We mentioned the slash in expenses this method can bring because of reduce and recycled waste. Apart from that, manufacturers often give discounts in bulk purchases to the acquiring party. Since the material is prefabricated, one can also boost productivity, as all the labor has to do is put the sub-assemblies in place and fill the joints with adhesives. Tesla also enjoys flexibility in expansion and delivers consistent quality with this method. Although laymen may assume that prefabrication might not make the building design rigid and unalterable, the reality is quite contrary to it. Referring back to the child and Lego block building analogy, just as a child detaches and reattaches the block wherever he wants, the same principle applies to prefab subassemblies. This can be disassembled, relocated, and reassembled or recycled from one place to another with ease of maneuvering a Lego block. This saves labor required to take apart built portions, cost in acquiring raw materials like bricks, cement, and paint. It also saves time spent in designing and assembling the sections in case of expansion or renovation projects. This method also provides a much safer environment to the workers compared to orthodox construction techniques. Prefabricated construction provides the workers with an indoor working environment because even the roof and panelized construction method can be fabricated and installed as soon as the columns are erected. This also translates to a much safer workplace in general for the labor due to a decreased chances of accidents and lesser exposure to harsh weather conditions such as scorching heat and sub-zero cold. All of these factors account for saving time in construction, which has enabled Tesla to exponentially grow its EV manufacturing empire from just one warehouse to 5 gigafactories across the globe in the hubs of automobile engineering. Due to prefabricated construction techniques, almost half the time can be saved in an ideal scenario compared to traditional methods of on-site construction. As Tesla has created the perfect blueprint to construct the machine that builds the machines by planning out each activity down to the finest details, applying ingenious and unorthodox techniques of civil engineering like prefabricated construction, Tesla can work in parallel on multiple sections of its Gigafactories without waiting for the previous activity to completely finish, and this is what enables Tesla to construct its factories in record time. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Also, have a look at our video, How Tesla Builds Batteries So Fast.